What makes a man a man? This is the primary question on the minds of most men seeking self-improvement. Sure, there's a myriad of responses that might mark a man's masculinity. But when it comes down to the bare bones of the question, there's really only one thing that sets men apart from the fairer sex. Testosterone. Why testosterone replacement therapy? This primary male sex hormone is not just responsible for giving you steel strength stiffies and an insatiable fuck anything that walks sexual appetite. It's literally the base hormone that regulates or influences just about every male bodily function. Your genetics serve as the bodily blueprint for muscle mass, fat distribution, bone density, immune function, etc. Testosterone is the aggressive foreman who brings everything together and actually gets things built. So when you're feeling less than optimal, low testosterone likely has something to do with it. Testosterone replacement therapy is simply a medical protocol designed to restore your optimal male hormonal levels. Unfortunately, not all doctors prescribe testosterone replacement therapy correctly. Most doctors today prefer to scratch the surface of the issue by treating only the symptoms of low T. They'll start by prescribing all sorts of brain-altering psychiatric medications like SSRIs. Then, they push more pills to treat the side effects of the first pill. Unfortunately, meds almost never do the trick. Sure, they may alleviate symptoms, but your underlying mood and physical well-being will still suffer. In fact, many leave you more messed up than before and cause a new slew of even more serious symptoms. Let's face it, you're better than that. So stop fucking around with pharmaceuticals and let's investigate the potential cause of your mediocrity. Low testosterone. Now, before you go buying vials of test and blasting your ass with a handheld harpoon, let's take a gander at some symptoms first. Here are 7 signs you should consider testosterone replacement therapy. Number 1. Sexual dysfunction. Any subpar symptoms surrounding the topic of sex could potentially point to low T. Reduced drive, issues getting your soldier to salute, and weak or dry loads are all possible indicators of low testosterone. Sometimes I'm just not in the mood, said no high-test man ever. As men, we often get a bad rap for wanting it anytime, anywhere. Well, don't listen to that horse shit. When all is right hormonally, you should feel ready to go whenever the opportunity arises. 2. Negative reactions from women. No sexual opportunities, you say? Well, there's your next sign of low T. Regardless of what the mainstream low T beta soy boy losers might tell you, women like masculine men. Period. If you constantly repulse women and your mere presence, let's be honest here, then you may need to do some T-related triage, and ASAP. A man with high testosterone exudes a cool, calm, collected, masculine confidence that the fair sex can clearly feel. When your man motor's firing on all cylinders, women take notice. Most will completely change the way they interact with you. Disagree with me? Check your T. You might be low. Get that shit fixed, and then talk about not being sexual. Number 3. Depression. Think of all of history's great men. What did they have in common? They were conquerors. The key to living life as a vibrant man is growth. Man takes an idea and manifests it into reality. He also seeks constant growth. Again, this is innate and it's hard-coded into our DNA. Depression is the complete opposite of growth. In fact, the word literally means a lack of movement. So you're either progressing or regressing, and regression is just another fancy way of saying dying. Lacking that powerful internal urge that propels you forward, well, maybe it's time to get your first batch of blood work done. Number 4. Anxiety. Experiencing a general uneasiness during day-to-day life is another telltale sign you may need to consider testosterone replacement therapy. Excessive worry, irritability, restlessness, and panic when no real threat is present are signs of anxiety. Being in a constant fight or flight response makes sense from an evolutionary standpoint, especially when you have low testosterone. Maybe it's nature's way of keeping you alert for predators, since typically low T males were the first to be preyed upon. Regardless, life is just too awesome to not live optimally. Imagine waking up with a vibrant, confident, radiant energy pulsating through your veins. Many new patients of testosterone replacement therapy describe this effect as an increased sense of well-being. And sadly, it wasn't until I got on TRT that I truly understood what well-being actually felt like. Number 5. Physical issues. Is your hair falling out, man-tit sagging, bones creaking, skin cracking, or joints aching? Many people accept these physical symptoms as a natural part of aging. As men age, our levels of testosterone production do decrease. There's no reason to not have thick hair, unless you're prone to balding, damn genetics, healthy skin, lean body mass, Superman strength, and rock-solid bone density well into your golden years. Believe otherwise? You've been lied to. Even if you live a clean lifestyle, eat nutritiously, and train regularly, you can still experience physical issues. And all of these would likely point to low testosterone. Number 6, sleep disturbances. Really, you should have no problem falling asleep the minute your head hits a pillow. Those with high T have low levels of anxiety and depression, which are often primary causes of sleep issues. Plus, a man who spends all day kicking ass is usually physically exhausted and more than ready to get a solid 8. Sleep is serious business, and it is required to keep all of your important bodily and mental functions in check. So whatever the reason behind your sleeplessness, it's usually resolved once you get your hormones leveled out. Number 7, mental changes. Have you noticed your memory isn't as sharp as it once was, or despite your best effort, you're just unable to focus? Low testosterone brings a blizzard of bad news when it comes to your mental faculties as well. So forget the old dumb jock stereotype of only complete morons being able to achieve athletic condition. Testosterone actually has more of an effect on your mental state than you'd think. In a society where everyone has a mental condition, practitioners, psychologists, and psychiatrists are quick to push pills for just about anything. Have you gone full pharma but still feel like shit? Well, maybe it's time to toss your scripts in the trash. Consider testosterone replacement therapy if you'd like to operate with consistent energy, focus, and a razor-sharp memory. So, is testosterone replacement therapy for you? Yes, life happens from time to time, and sometimes you'll get beaten up, dragged around, and just worn down. These ebbs and flows are natural and they make us who we are today. However, if you've only ever experienced an underlying shitty feeling despite the highs and the lows, you might want to get that checked out. And if you're worried about the negative stigma, don't be. There's no good excuse as to why you shouldn't be the best version of you at all times. I remember feeling embarrassed and ashamed when first considering testosterone replacement therapy, and luckily I followed through. And surprisingly, once I got my T levels into range, I could really give a shit less what society thought. Today, I look and feel great. There is no reason to not feel like springing out of bed, seizing the day, and making the world yours every single morning. Seriously, do you generally feel like a weak, lazy, whiny bitch? Well, let's do something about it. We live in the 21st century where men can be women and women can be men, and society doesn't seem to bat an eye, so who really cares if you are a man who simply wants to be a man? So what to do if you think you might need testosterone replacement therapy? For starters, I suggest doing much more intensive research. In all seriousness, messing with your hormones is not a decision to be taken lightly. I can give you anecdotal evidence all day long, but for something more in depth, definitely check out excelmale.com to start taking your health into your own hands. And the fact you're here means you're already on the right path. All in all, I wish you the best of luck in your journey to self-optimization. If you like what you see here, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell for notifications, or visit the original blog content at menshrine.com.